Butler first, born in Chicago, grew up in Rochester, Minnesota, where he started boxing at 15. He had 45 amateur fights and won the National Golden Gloves in 2004. He then turned pro and just ripped through 11 opponents in 7 months. Butler suffered 2 early stoppages, though, the following year. Last April, he lost a unanimous decision and has since won 8 straight, including a first-round TKO in his last fight just 6 weeks ago. He's got size, strength, and power, but the rap on Butler is lack of focus, a questionable chin, maybe confidence, too. He's had 29 fights in only 34 months, though. He's just 23 years old with a record of 25-3, 1 no decision, 20 KOs. Take us behind those numbers, Steve.
Well, chin sin, Nick. Butler's been stopped twice. The first guy who did it fought only once more. The second guy had lost his previous 3 fights and lost his next 3, too. Not good. Easy does it. Maybe because of those knockout losses, Butler's been handled with kid gloves. In 28 fights, only 9 of his opponents had winning records. And going long, Butler's been as long as 6 rounds only twice. Binkowski's been 8 a couple of times and 10 once. Advantage Binkowski.
I'll tell you, watching Butler, we missed that on camera, but he just gave a very explicit symbol to Art Binkowski, and it was X-rated, Steve. And if we look at Binkowski, born in Poland, has lived in Canada since he was 12. Binkowski suffered a shoulder injury that stopped him from competing for a spot in the 1996 Olympics. He chose, though, to remain an amateur, so he had over 100 fights and made the 2000 Canadian Olympic team and got to the quarterfinals in Sydney. He didn't turn pro then until he was 26, but after a busy first 3 years, has had only 3 fights since May of 05, and is coming off a year layoff. Art Binkowski, 14-1-3, 9 knockouts. What's behind the numbers, Steve?
Well, empty record for Big Art. He's challenged for the Canadian heavyweight title, but in 5.5 years, he really hasn't faced anybody of note. He's a stand-up guy. Binkowski's never been stopped, and that's a challenge for Butler. 16 of Butler's 17 most recent opponents had suffered at least 1 stoppage loss. And on the bench, since Binkowski's last fight, Butler's fought 8 times. Which guy do you think is going to be sharper tonight?
We're at the Target Center in Minneapolis, where Raphael Butler is ready to take on Art Binkowski in our first heavyweight fight of the night. Let's go now to ring announcer Dan Cole.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Target Center here in Minneapolis, Minnesota for Showbox, the new generation, brought to you by Goose and Tudor Promotions in association with Second South Promotions and Showtime. Tonight's action is sanctioned by the Minnesota Boxing Commission. The chairman is Mike Munford. The executive director is Scott Ledoux. Introducing to you the 3 judges scoring at ringside: Carl Benson, John Mariano, and Denny Nelson. Our 3rd man in the ring is referee Gary Mizwa. This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Presenting first, fighting out of the blue corner, he is wearing black trunks with white trim. He weighed in at 235 pounds. He enters the ring with an impressive professional boxing record of 14 wins, only 1 loss, 3 draws, 9 of those wins coming by knockout. From Chicago, Illinois, please welcome the 2000 Polish Olympian, Art the Polish Warrior Binkowski. And fighting out of the red corner, he is wearing black trunks with silver trim. He weighed in at a rock-solid 244 pounds. He has an outstanding professional boxing record of 25 wins, only 3 losses, 20 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome from Rochester, Minnesota, Raphael, the Silencer Butler.
Boxers, you know the rules. Just go holding and wrestling. There's no standing A count. Best of luck. Back to the corner.
The physical dimensions here, you see they're very similar, but look at the ages. Interesting that Butler, who's 23, has had 28 fights. Binkowski, 32 years old, he's had only 18.
And the unified rules are in effect in this bout. And as we look at those and get ready for the start of it, I got to tell you, there is some blood boiling here in both corners. Raphael Butler says he will not be intimidated, and his stare told it all. He expects Binkowski to come right at him and test his chin, and he did. Sweeping left hook, and Binkowski is down 5 seconds in. A counter delay right hand from Butler.
6.
Wow.
7.
What a start.
All right, let's go.
Fourth time in his career Binkowski's been down.
Binkowski's hands are low again. Butler very much in control. He is letting it go now with the power shots. He's got to be careful. Butler's had questionable chin. He's been down several times, and now he's getting hit as Binkowski clubs with the left hand as he pushes forward. And Butler on the ropes. So wow, Binkowski not only fighting in hostile territory, he's in a quick hole, isn't he, Steve?
Well, you know, Butler has 16 first-round knockouts, but really the question here is not what happens when Butler punches, it's what happens when Binkowski hits Butler.
And Binkowski had just real disdain for Butler. Remember we talked to him yesterday, hey, that big head, see it, I'm going to find it and hit it. And probably the quote of the fighters meeting. So far, he is hanging in, and I'll tell you, everything I've seen with Binkowski, only has one loss, Steve. There's no dog in this guy. He goes with what he's got from beginning to end. His skills may be limited, but he doesn't spit the bit.
Exactly. Only one loss, never been stopped. It's 10 days notice for Binkowski, but weight-wise, he's reasonably in good shape.
Well, Butler said he's now more a boxer than a puncher. That could be the result of being flat on his back. He had his confidence taken away from him. But as we talked about, 8 straight wins, he's trying to get it back. This is really a critical fight for him.
Don't get wild, right?
And you see that, again, to reiterate what I said in the lead-in, Butler turned pro almost 3 years after Binkowski, but he's been so busy. Not many rounds, though, because, as I said, he has all those first-round knockouts.
Good jab from Butler there, and a huge right hand. Man, he could crack, and you could hear that one here in the front row.
5, 6, 7.
2 right hands.
All right.
And Binkowski has been dropped twice by them here in the first. No 3 knockdown rule and plenty of time. Man, Butler just took his time and let Binkowski spend the bullet. And there's another right hand that dazes and just freezes Binkowski, who is in serious trouble now.
Long time to go, Nick. 30 seconds left.
And he's not holding on, but he's trying to keep Butler pinned against the ropes. Again, no quit in Binkowski, but he's getting outgunned in this first round.
One thing I like about Butler, he's very relaxed.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get that knockout.
Oh, he's in trouble now. The referee steps in. Another knockdown, so no 3 knockdown.
5.
He can't be saved by the bell.
7, 8. Keep going.
But he'll run out of clock here and survive after 1.
And Binkowski's eyes look good. He's got focus.
Yeah, but he's been hit by a freight train 3 times, Steve. I'll tell you, Butler could crack. Let's go to the corner.
Listen to me. Keep it in the mouth. Listen to me. You back off. You don't have to back off. You got to stay with him. You back off. That's when he hurt you the second time, okay? Don't back off and stay with him. If the ref say box, put the head down and close with him.
The first knockdown, really the first punch of the fight. It seemed like it was almost to the back of the head, a right hand after 2 tentative jabs by Butler, and Binkowski sort of smiling. This is the second knockdown. It was really a left hook that started it. And the right hand finishes it off. Again, though, Binkowski's nose may be red there, but his eyes never, I mean, that's something we get to see sitting this close. His eyes never in bad shape. Right there, his legs are just gone. It'll be very interesting to see if he can last at all in this second round, because after the third knockdown, he really seemed pretty hurt, and his legs were gone.
Butler knocked him all the way to half court here at the target center, it looked like. So Butler, the advice from Binkowski's corner, stay inside, smother that power. Don't let this guy get his range and unload. He's got that huge reach, 77 inches, Butler. And here's the right hand as Binkowski just walks into shots.
Binkowski landed a hook, but the thing is, Nick, Binkowski's coming forward. He's still trying to win.
He absolutely is. No dog in him. Again, I thought Binkowski unexceptional in every other area, Steve, but going in, my big note on him, again, there's no dog in the guy.
Tough guy, right?
And he's coming at him, again, trying to win.
I'll tell you what, Raphael Butler, Nick, punches a lot harder than Russell Crowe. Because Binkowski was in Cinderella Man. He played Corn Griffin. Well, this is a real fight.
Yeah, this is no fairy tale. And as we see here, this is where Binkowski wants to be. Shortening up shots inside, pinning his chin to the chest of the taller Butler.
Not a bad idea, Nick, because Binkowski's not doing anything much here. But you know what? He's not letting Butler extend his punches, and Butler
so what should Butler be doing?
Into the punches. Butler should get off the ropes.
Yeah, I don't understand it. He was on the ropes a good portion in the first round, and he let Binkowski almost punch himself out until he saw an opening, and he really took it.
See, all Binkowski's doing here is buying time, and he's doing a good job of it.
Well, Butler should force him to fight. He's really got to fight mean here.
In ring center, when there's a little distance between them, it's no contest. Butler's much faster.
And the crowd doesn't like this at all, Steve. There's the uppercut. Butler tries to rip one home. I don't understand the strategy. Again, I understand Binkowski's perfectly.
Now watch what with some distance, how Butler can keep the distance and extend his arms, and that's where the power is.
And Steve, you hit on Binkowski's best punch of the fight was that left hook early, and he cracked him with another one there, but here comes Butler. Now he's setting up the power, so he hasn't forgotten the jab, but that right hand's been right hand action from Butler, so really all the punches, and he's tried uppercuts in close. Now they're in close again. Binkowski all in black. Butler with his back to the cameras here against the ropes once again. Binkowski warned to watch his head. He comes swinging, charging in, wild left hook. Well, here Binkowski wide open down the middle, and Butler really trying to straighten that jab out and find him as we end the second round. Both guys, I don't know if they expected what we saw. Knocked down 5 seconds in, obviously not. But here's what they want to accomplish tonight.
From what I understand, he likes to see space, so he likes to fight at distance. What do you do in a case like that? The simplest solution is to go at him. You know what I mean? We do the Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? All aggression, forward.
You're gonna see me do a lot of jabbing. You know, countering. I'll be countering over his left hand and just working his body a lot. That's kind of what I got in my head right now.
Don't go to the ropes. Understand? All right. All right, I thought you were cut. You're fine. You're looking good. You got a little...
Action from round 2. Binkowski, he's firing away at the start of the round, and this is a guy who had a 10-6 round against him in the first round with 3 knockdowns. Butler has settled for 10-9 there in that second round.
Really impressed with him, Steve, in that he kept punching. Again, I love he hit a guy with the 3rd and 4th shot. He missed 3 shots, but here comes Butler behind that jab. Actually, it's more of a hook, really. So he's not setting up his power that much, and Binkowski's saying, what do you have? But he's getting outgunned, I think. Butler could punch. He's had Binkowski down 3 times, and that's no fluke.
And a heavyweight who punches is always going to be a commodity. Butler, when he turned pro, every promoter wanted this kid. And he suffered those 2 knockouts. And, you know, a heavyweight with a big punch and a questionable chin is not going to make it. And that's what he's got to prove, that he can take a shot, not give a shot.
Exactly. And Steve, this is a big confidence boost for him. In against a guy who won't back off. He's going to force him to fight 3 minutes a round.
Now, this to me, Nick, is lazy. Butler's corner told him, you know, Dan O'Connor said, get off the ropes. What is he doing on the ropes? He's getting outworked. He's not punching at all. What's the point?
Well, Dan's sitting there. We can watch him not yelling. He likes to say very little, but he had a fundamental, critical point to his fighter, as you said. Get off the ropes. There's no reason for this.
This is all a big positive for Binkowski. You know, is he going to win on points, Binkowski? Probably not after that 10-6 first round. But remember, Butler's never been past 6 rounds. The longer the fight goes,
good point,
the more comfortable Binkowski is. Takes a left hook to the body and laughs, which means, of course, it hurt him.
And then the right to the body as well. So Butler picking free shot after free shot. and not setting up anything. He almost looks disinterested, looking out to the crowd now. So he is just fighting when he wants to fight, and just standing there when he doesn't. Again, Steve, we talked at the beginning, American public's looking for dynamic guys. Butler told us yesterday that's what they need a big American heavyweight. Well, he's got to be more. He was exciting, 3 knockdowns already, but don't be fighting in spurts like this.
You wonder if the confidence is there to go hard for 3 minutes, because he's never been past 6. And basically, when he hits guys the way he hit Binkowski in the first round, the fight's over.
Exactly, and Binkowski's a stayer. His only defeat in 05, lost a 10-round decision up in Canada to Patrick LaRue, the unbeaten heavyweight. So he is a difficult guy to discourage, as we can see. Art Binkowski with his back to you. Butler with that right to the body, no jab from him, although he spoke about how Dwight Pratchett is, or how he's learned to straighten it out a little bit more.
And you know, Butler also, Nick, is running the risk of losing the crowd. This is his crowd. He's the hometown guy. The longer the fight goes and Binkowski's still here, the slower Butler gets, the quieter the crowd gets.
You're right about that as we close out 3.
Now you're cut. Son of a bitch, now you're cut. Give me the... Oh, okay. All right, you're right. Now you got a little cut. Now you're going to go box this guy or not? Give me the shit. All right. All right, now you got to go box this guy, okay? You're wrestling this guy inside.
Butler's been very inactive on the inside. The shots he's looking for, he'll explode suddenly. And he tried that right uppercut. Obviously a good punch when you're being laid on. And Butler also, I mean, he won the 3rd round clearly. Big body shots, a right and then a left. Binkowski said it didn't hurt him, which is boxing translated to
grab an elbow,
it hurt me.
turn him off, and go to the middle of the ring. Okay, understand? Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Clear message, box, don't try to just stand there and do nothing. But Butler is cut. You wonder if it's the headbutt he was warned by the referee earlier was Binkowski.
Looks like it's at the corner of the right eye. It doesn't look
or the
like.
left hook. Could have been the left hook of Binkowski.
Doesn't look like a bad spot, though, does it?
No, I wouldn't unnerve most fighters. And I can't believe Butler would be unnerved by that. But he does look a little lethargic. In other words, get a little meaner right here.
Well, you know, with 3 knockdowns in the first round, Nick, I don't think we thought that Binkowski would still be here. I know Butler didn't think Binkowski would still be here, and I'm not sure Binkowski thought he'd still be here.
Well, I don't know. I would disagree with. I think Binkowski believes he's going the full 10 here. I don't know if Butler's being sapped a little bit of that oozing confidence he had before the opening bell. But Binkowski continues to come in. This is 8 rounds, of course, not 10. But Butler, again, he is there to be hit at times. And again, I agree with you and what Dan O'Connor said, Steve. You can't say enough. You could keep this guy at the end of your jab, and you could box him. And then you could get the full extension on those shots. This is not the place to be for Raphael Butler. And that's the corner and against the ropes. But it's a recurring theme, so what else is new?
It's really been a recurring theme from the first round. Binkowski, very little on his punches. Very little. I mean, he's not going to test Butler's chin with the shots he's throwing.
He just tried there, but Butler didn't backtrack much at all, not a result of those shots. So again, Steve, Butler to nitpick here. Coming in, I said, you know, his confidence is shaky. Perhaps his heart, though, and his focus. It doesn't look like he's focusing.
So his head.
Referee with another warning of the headbutts.
Butler has real big legs. He gets his power from his legs. You wonder if those legs right now are just tired. Heavy and tired. He's not using them at all.
Butler with that opening right hand to the body again. He has tried that repeatedly. Now he'll try to slip a couple shots, and Binkowski warned about the elbow. He's a rough guy, Steve.
You notice, though, with Butler now, when he loads up with the big right hand, it's still one punch at a time. That's it.
Yeah.
He's slowed down.
Binkowski inside where he wants to be. He'll be happy to trade that way and maybe get outfired. We're closing out the 4th round here, so halfway home if it goes the 8th.
Big deep breath. Okay, big deep breath. There's nothing cut there. Everything's fine. Okay.
We're going to go back to round 3 here. This is what opened the cut. Watch the heads. You can't miss that, boy. It's clearly accidental. Binkowski was bent over to the left, came back. They clashed heads. At least in round 4, that
you can make it a real easy
not a
fight
factor.
if you would do that. Sit up, breathe deep. Big deep breath. Big deep breath. Do not wrestle and go to the ropes with this kid anymore. We're going to end up getting cut again. That's his game. Let's play our game now. It's time to go. Okay. Get on the jabs. Bring the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then.
Yeah, wishful thinking. 4-punch combination for many heavyweights.
2, 3, and 4. What happened to those? And we should point out, Dan O'Connor's been with Butler for a long time. But Dick Wood, who we know and love, he's with Chico Corrales, who fights tomorrow night on Showtime. And Dick Wood is usually in Butler's corner as well. He's missing him.
But I don't know in terms of who he's comfortable with. Butler, though, literally lived in Dan O'Connor's gym. He lived there for 3 years. They made basically a closet into a room for him. Butler, there he is, firing combinations, and Binkowski shrugging him off. Nice straight right hand to the head. So he got Binkowski to drop his hands a little bit, it looked, with that body attack, and then went upstairs. Smart move, but he's not working behind the jab as O'Connor requested.
Well, you know, we talk about fatigue. Butler's become reduced to sort of infrequent outbursts here. But the thing is, Binkowski, who hasn't fought in a year, he's also tired now. And he looks like he lacks the power to test that vulnerable chin of Butler.
Yeah, and the crowd's getting on both fighters a little bit. They want to see, well, who wouldn't want to see the action we saw in the first round?
Well, that's it, Nick. I mean, I talked before about, you know, the heavyweights. Butler in the first round showed why you love heavyweights, and now we're seeing why sometimes we don't love heavyweights.
Exactly. Now center of the ring here, guys muscling each other, just tied up. Very little serious infighting going on. You know, Butler has a little bit of either disinterest or fatigue on his face. Nothing serious. He's not stepping on his tongue by any means, but his work rate definitely is not there. Binkowski throwing more shots, but not the better ones by any means, as you said. Binkowski on the left. He's in front. He's in close again. Now trying to sweep that hook and come up with the uppercut. And Butler's a little bit open here as they flurry inside.
Nice right uppercut by Binkowski on the inside. Snapped Butler's head. The problem for Butler, Nick, one thing. 2 words. Ring generalship. He doesn't have it.
So controlling the fight sometimes without punching, right? Controlling around.
And look at him now. A little dancing, a little distance. I guess he's not Muhammad Ali in there, but...
Again, Steve, part of ring generalship to me is full mental focus. And I can't say that enough. I truly believe that is an issue with Butler. Full mental focus.
I agree with you. In the first round, I said how relaxed he looked. Maybe he was too relaxed.
But it is interesting to hit on that point. We'll pick it up again. Is you knock a guy down 3 times in the first round, he doesn't go away. You continue to rely on the power, or do you start boxing if they want him to do it?
Beautiful. That's your round, brother. That's your round now. Listen, Arthur. The guy start running. You know what's mean that, right? Look, he's fat. Okay? Now we have 3 rounds that you have to stop him. Get mad when I'll tell you 30. Okay. Get mad. Okay, he's dead. He's dead. Get mad. Watch, don't get hit. Defense first. Make him miss and take him. Make him miss and take him. But not with one punch. 3-4 punches, okay? That's it.
He's cut. You got to cut in his right eye. Yeah. Work that out.
Hard. I want you full energy. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Get even. Very good.
I love the advice, and it is concentrate. Really get mad, stop them. He realizes they're behind, and they are after that 10-6 opening round. But Binkowski's got to be the busier guy. They think Butler is stepping on his tongue, Steve. What do you think?
You hold on this side. You hold on that side.
Butler's probably going to win this fight, Nick, but it's an invaluable experience for 2 reasons. One, he learns that not everybody you drop can you stop. And 2, there are going to be times when you have to go 6, 8, 10 rounds. So, you know, these have been lacking in Butler, and he's getting that tonight. So it's not the prettiest fight right now, but those 2 things make it very valuable for Butler.
And now serious infighting for just a little spurt there. Steve, based on Butler did have Binkowski down 3 times in the first heat. How do you have it through 5?
Well, that made it basically impossible for Binkowski to win on points. I have it 50-42. I have not given Binkowski any rounds. That 5th was the closest round yet.
You got to get the hands going, son. You got to get the hands.
Butler backing off, just pawing away. That's his defense. And Binkowski with the hammerlock, with the chokehold. Binkowski absolutely squared up walking in.
Well, you know what? He's walking in, and that, I mean, Butler couldn't ask for something easier. Punchers like Butler don't like it when guys run away from them. Binkowski's right there walking in, but he's not doing anything about it, and before he can react, Binkowski's on the inside.
There you go.
Let's go. It's not a slow dance, it's box.
Referee said it's not a slow dance, let's box. Turning tired and tedious here in the 6th. It was an explosive first round, and Binkowski full of fight. He's never really stopped trying, but does he really believe he could dent Raphael Butler? He's launched himself at him, and it just hasn't happened. There's a jab from Butler and nothing else.
Binkowski just winked at the 2 of us, Nick. In the fighter meetings yesterday, he was one of the most personable fighters. I mean, you talk about a guy who's loose.
Funny dude.
Funny guy,
right? Funny dude.
Yeah, he's loosey-goosey in there, and if he could put together something, you know, and catch Butler, that's his only prayer right now. And I normally wouldn't even say that, but with Butler having suffered a couple of knockout losses, you can't discount that. Those are the kind of shots by both guys. Those are the kind of shots Binkowski needs.
Yeah, Steve, it's a good crowd here tonight, and Butler, of course, lives an hour away in Rochester, Minnesota, but Binkowski, as you touched on earlier, has a very real chance, at least at the moral victory, not that he cares that much, to win this crowd a little bit. If you could just step it up and win a round or 2.
Well, he might have won the 6th, Nick.
Sean, son, we should be getting fresh right about now, huh? We didn't do nothing that round. Huh? You got to win these last 2 rounds big. You understand that? Hey, this is your career, son. This is what we got to do. You're losing this fight, son. You're hearing it from me, all right? You understand that?
5 and 6 outside.
You better understand it.
Okay. Take a little half step back and then let him go.
You know what round is this?
Yeah, 6, 7. What is it? Which one?
Nobody knows. Look, they're looking at the card. It's card.
Okay, so take him.
Kick his ass. It don't fucking matter.
Arthur, take him. He's dead. He's dead.
Steve, that was pretty funny, I got to tell you. Adrian Teteresco asked Art Binkowski, "You know what round this is?" And when he didn't know either. So they had to look to the ring card girl. They should have asked us.
How about Dan O'Connor telling his fight and telling Butler he's losing? You know what? It's not a trainer's job to tell the truth. It's a trainer's job to get everything he can out of a fighter. I don't think Dan O'Connor thinks Butler's losing this fight.
Well, I agree with you, but and in terms of saving his career, that again was an urgent message that he sent. Oh, left hand from Binkowski there, and Butler wraps him up.
Hey.
Butler looked at his trainer and agreed, but we haven't seen anything from him. Where is the firepower we saw in the first round when he dropped Binkowski 3 times? Boy, they want Butler to keep working. They're just screaming in the corner there. Steve Ministeri, his manager. And again, you hate to keep using the word crossroads, but it's critical. This guy's only 23 years old, but he's got 3 losses, and he's lost a boatload of confidence. And people have questioned really his own corner, really his heart and his focus and his commitment.
Sure.
And he swears he's on his game again, but he's not fighting like it.
Well, it's not only about winning for Butler, it's about making an impression. And you know, the first round he made quite an impression, and he hasn't made a very good impression since.
No, and Binkowski right where he wants to be again. Just chin down. He's not even looking at Butler's head and just winging shots, shortening up inside and cutting through with that uppercut at times. Again, Binkowski's confirming everything I believed in him about him again, Steve. Very limited ability, but tons of heart. And then you reverse the role. Butler has a lot more ability, but you wonder about the heart.
Excellent comparison, and you know, Butler's really tired. There's no doubt about that. When you're tired, your technique suffers, your defense suffers.
Right.
He's there to be hit by Binkowski. But Binkowski doesn't have enough to land more than 1 shot every minute or so.
And Steve, you know, not to pick on Butler, but you start to wonder again when a guy has lost confidence. You wonder, do they expect great things from themselves? That's what I wonder. And that, to me, are they able to put a bad round behind them?
Heavyweights are psychological studies, Nick. Much more than any other division.
So right.
And lack of confidence is not uncommon among heavyweights.
What do you think it is?
And I think a lot of them aren't pure fighters. The reward is so great if you make it as a heavyweight that gets a lot of them into the game.
Yeah, Butler just seemed to almost stagger into Binkowski. He was wide open. Both men clearly fatigued here with 1 round to go. And now a little flurry from Butler as he spins away before the bell.
All right. Big deep breath. Big deep breath. Last round, everything you got, son. You need to knock this kid out, and you don't need to sit there and pity-pat with him on the damn ropes. You understand? In the middle.
Like at the back, non-stop punching. You got to make him quick if he's smart.
You got it? Or you don't? Find
right
out
now,
this round.
Right now,
bud.
son?
This is it, son.
What you worked for.
One more round. You have 1 more round to prove yourself. Okay? Please.
Awesome.
Attaboy.
We're all about pep talks here, Steve, but a round to go. No touching gloves here to go right at each other, and now hugs center of the ring.
Right.
Good exchange here. Butler's lost a lot of steam on his shots, hasn't he, Steve?
Those shots were accurate, but very slow, Nick. I agree with you.
Binkowski, here we go again. This fight falling into a pattern. He's a tough guy, really is. Lots of guts. Can Butler bite down himself, though? That's the question here. Win this round, perhaps conclusively. He's winning the fight probably comfortably.
Gotta love Binkowski, Nick. He's in a Samuel Jackson movie that hasn't come out yet. He said to me, whenever they need an ugly face, they have Binkowski's number. You gotta love a guy like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he is quite blunt about not knowing where he's going after this in terms of boxing. Seemed to want to speak about his acting career as much as his fight career.
Well, his acting career pays better, right?
It does.
The problem is that it's, you know, Binkowski we know is not going anywhere big, but, you know, Butler teases you with that power.
Well, Steve, you know, without giving figures away, it was easily what he made for Cinderella Man. It was 10 times what he ever made for a fight.
Sure.
And didn't mean to suggest Cinderella Man was a fairy tale, but Cinderella was. And he was in a real fight here in the first round. Down 3 times, but he pulled himself back up. And really, Steve, the guy could have quit. You know, he really could have. He could have stayed down. Big right hand for Butler, wakes up the crowd.
That's it. Back it up, back up. Keep that up, keep that up.
This fight, Nick, has been a microcosm of the division. You know, you get the sensational knockdowns in round 1.
Whoa, look at this. Butler's in trouble. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. He got hit with 2 right hands. He is ready to go, and he's down from that right.
3, 4,
He is exhausted.
5,
Suspicions.
7, 8.
Our suspicions were correct, Steve. He spits the mouthpiece out and doesn't want to continue.
Is this fight over?
Well, they're giving him a chance for... It is over. It's over.
I was confused there because all of a sudden Dan O'Connor was on the ring apron.
Right, well, they're feeding him water, so it's got to be over now.
Yeah, it's over now. But Butler looks like he has no idea.
It's stopped the fight. Here. Why stop the fight? Because you spit your mouthpiece on it now. Okay? Without? Yeah. No, hell no. You're behind the fight. I don't know that.
Butler doesn't believe it's over, but it is.
If I wasn't over, you're still ready to fight. Dan was protecting you. You're getting hurt. Oh, it wasn't on.
Utter dejection in the corner and disbelief.
Yeah, I'm good, man. What happened? No, okay, your face. What happened?
He probably tell me I'm pretty. You know what I mean? He didn't connect much. Couple shots, less than 10. Really good shots through the fight. First round. Quick explanation what happened. First round. Hit me right behind the ear where all the equilibrium is. Drop down. Who cares? Doesn't matter. I look bad. I don't go down for nobody. Drop me down. I lost balance. It wasn't hurt. Got up. I was still coming to myself. I don't remember what next shot hit me. It was such a long time ago, round number 1. So he hit me.